If you've inherited an Azure tenant where every team spun up subscriptions with no naming, no policy, and no network plan, you already know the pain a landing zone solves. An Azure landing zone is not a product you click to deploy. It's an opinionated environment design, a pre-configured subscription with guardrails, networking, identity, and monitoring already wired in, so application teams land in a safe, compliant space. In the next few minutes, I'll break down the mental model, the management group hierarchy, how policy enforces governance, the platform versus application split, and the gotchas that bite in production. Think of a landing zone as the blast radius boundary for a workload. The subscription is the unit of scale and isolation. You give a team a subscription, not a resource group, because subscriptions carry their own quota limits, policy assignments, and billing. The landing zone wraps that subscription with everything decided centrally, which regions are allowed, which network they connect to, what tags are mandatory, and what they're forbidden from doing. The key shift is subscription democratization with central guardrails. Teams move fast inside their box, and the platform team controls the box, not the contents. Governance hangs off the management group tree, which sits above subscriptions. The Cloud Adoption Framework reference design starts at the tenant route, then a top intermediate group, usually called Contoso or your org name. Below that, you get platform, landing zones, decommissioned, and sandbox. Platform holds your shared subscriptions, identity, management, and connectivity. Landing zones splits into corp for workloads that need on-premises connectivity and online for internet-facing apps. The reason this structure matters, policy and role assignments inherit downward, so you assign once high in the tree and every subscription below it complies automatically. The thing that actually makes a landing zone enforce itself is Azure Policy, not documentation. Policies assigned at management group scope do 3 jobs: deny, like blocking disallowed regions or public IP addresses; audit, flagging non-compliant resources without blocking; and deploy if not exists, which auto-remediates by deploying things like diagnostic settings to log analytics or Microsoft Defender plans. This is the difference between governance that's a wiki page and governance that's code. Combine policy with role-based access control, RBAC, assigned via groups, and you've separated what teams can do from what they're allowed to create. Don't confuse the two halves of the architecture. Platform landing zones are the shared foundation the platform team owns, the identity subscription with your domain services, the management subscription with log analytics and automation, and the connectivity subscription holding the hub virtual network, Azure Firewall, and ExpressRoute or VPN gateways. Application landing zones are where workloads actually run, peered into that hub. The rule of thumb, platform zones are few, long-lived, and centrally managed. Application zones are many, disposable, and owned by app teams. Mixing them, putting shared firewalls inside an app subscription, is a classic anti-pattern. How does a new team actually get a landing zone? Through subscription vending, a repeatable automated pipeline rather than a ticket and a human clicking around. A team submits a request with parameters: cost center, network size, environment. Your pipeline, typically Bicep or Terraform, using the official Azure Landing Zones modules, creates the subscription, places it under the right management group, assigns budgets, configures the spoke network, and peers it to the hub. Because policy already lives on the management group, the new subscription is compliant the moment it exists. This is what lets a platform team support hundreds of subscriptions without becoming a bottleneck. A few things bite people. First, IP address planning. Once spokes are peered into a hub, overlapping address spaces are painful to fix, so plan your CIDR ranges up front. Second, policy at scale can break deployments silently. A deny policy assigned high in the tree can block a legitimate workload, and the error surfaces deep in a pipeline. Test policy with audit mode first. Third, don't over-engineer. A small org doesn't need the full enterprise-scale hierarchy on day one. Start with the accelerator, then grow. And because the reference modules and policy sets change often, check the current cloud adoption framework docs before you commit. So a landing zone is a governed subscription. Management groups give you an inheritance tree. Azure Policy enforces guardrails as code, RBAC controls access, and subscription vending makes it repeatable. The platform team owns the shared foundation. App teams land in compliant spokes. Your one concrete next step: Deploy the Azure Landing Zones Accelerator from the portal into a test tenant, then turn on policies in audit mode and watch the compliance dashboard before you flip anything to deny. That single exercise teaches you more about how governance inheritance behaves than any diagram. Build the box first, then let teams move fast inside it. If this helped, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss the next one. See you in the next video.